With us today, we got Joe, Trigger Joe Britson.
All right, let's go.
To try to get a matchup with Ngannou. Goes the roof. Francis Ngannou.
This is just a fist. When I start throwing it around, I can leave one hell of a mess. Let's dance.
Multiple occasions. Wow. It looks like they're going to swing to the very end.
And he wasn't kidding.
Wow.
It's very rare.
What a finish. Another one.
It really poses the question, what do you want to do? Do you want to take a chance and risk getting knocked out?
Oh, my God.
My God.
Trying to take care of business, trying to get to goal. It's a knockout. Oh, my It's a knockout.
And it's closing in, trying to finish it, and it's over!
Because I'm going to take this foot and I'm going to whop you on that side of your face. There's not a goddamn thing you can do about it.
Buck is brought to you by Modelo.
I killed it!
And we have a new nickname. Okay, we have William Send It 7 Pearson. All right, other than that, we used to call him Willie Pete. We used to call him the Mad Russian.
For his opponent to be quicker on the catch.
Now you're gonna get it, Bobby!
I think you've had enough. No? Now you've had enough. Bitch.
Wow. How good is this?
Finish him!
Another one.
Everybody gets triggered. It's just if you become a pansy or not. That's in the Book of Earl.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
You called down the thunder, well now you got it.
Gotta be very careful. What's up, sports fans? Are you looking for a job? Do you want to change in careers? Do you want to own your own business? I got the answer for you. This show is brought to you by FleetTex. FleetTex is partnering with veterans with mechanical or electronic experience. FleetTex specializes in on-site deployment of GPS tracking equipment and cameras for fleet vehicles across our nation. Check out what they do at www.fleettex.com. Apply today. Currently targeting veterans living in Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee. Local work and travel opportunities may be available in other areas. FleetTex proudly supports our military, its service members, our veterans, and their families. Enjoy the show.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Sports Betting Show with your hosts, Trigger Joe, Send It 7 Pearson, and the Big Earl. UFC, NFL, if it's on, we're betting on it.
Trash talkers, all right. That big
Lost
bearded
my life,
man
Chris.
with that ugly ass sweater on, that is Joe. All right, that's VTT's Trigger Joe. And that's a huge flex, and we'll get into it later when we get to the NFL side of the show. But hey, happy Friday. We are here. We are live. All right, trash talkers. Say hi, say where you're from on the chat thread. If you're watching on Gruntworks, the Baker, all right, a Marine. is watching that. So if you comment on Gruntworks, give it a second because he'll have to relay that message. But okay, we did not. I say again, did not have a good UFC betting week last weekend. All right, we got housed. However, the Big Earl had your back. All right, the Big Earl did pretty well in the NFL last weekend, and so that got me to +3, and we'll talk about that later. But either way, I know usually Send It Sevens here, but he's not. He is doing Sergeant Major things, and that's what Sergeant Major's got to do. But again, if you're watching, say hi, say where you're from, and then if you want some comments about the fights or the NFL, just go ahead and put it on there. We'll bring up the question and we'll see if we can answer it for you. But as you can see on top there, the code says VTTGW. So go to gruntworksclothing.com or go to shop.veterantrashtalk.com and buy yourself a t-shirt. Now, again, we are a for-profit company here at Veteran Trash Talk, and what we do is we use all of our resources to promote nonprofits. We promote veteran authors. We promote other veteran businesses. So every dollar you give us helps us do our job in promoting our veteran brothers and sisters. And also, we are partners with the Ultimate Sacrifice Foundation, and they send active duty people to mental health treatment and all that good stuff, as well as veterans and first responders. And they also are partnered with Gold Star Teen Adventures, which is one of Bill's babies. So, all right, we got Jennifer Walsh watching from Northeastern Washington State. All right, stay high up there. All right. And hey, you saw it before, Fleet Techs. Okay, now technically they're not our sponsor right now. All right, they paused the sponsorship, but you know what? They were good partners with us, and we're going to keep promoting them at least through the rest of November because they want to hire veterans. So go to fleettechs.com and go apply for a job if you need one. All right, trust me. Just go there, look at it. If it fits your cup of tea, get after it. All right, Joe, how's it going, brother?
Oh, I just lost my light right as you were introducing us. So I'm over here fiddling like a Boy Scout, trying to figure out what's going on. But
typical Detroit.
Yeah, man, not a good UFC run the last 2 weeks, but I see some gambler's delight in the prelims of this card, and that is honestly where I'm going to be making most of my most solid picks on this one. So Bill's not here. It's not going to be as fun to do the competition, so I'm probably going to roll through what I think the best pick is on each fight, and let's go to the NFL until Dana White gives us a freaking pay-per-view.
Yeah,
then we'll spend some time on it. Come on, Dana.
This is garbage. This fight is garbage. Even the Big Earl said.
And this new light makes my face look red.
Yeah. Anyways, he's just red because every time he sees me, he blushes. All right. Anyways, it's a fact. It's a fact.
Don't smile at me when I'm doing it.
Don't make eye contact.
No eye contact.
Hey, just remember, if you don't have the money to gamble, don't gamble. All right, don't do it. Same thing goes with alcohol. If it causes you to destroy all your relationships, stop it. Okay, just stop it. Anyways, I'm gonna go through the picks. All right, I will host the show of those of you watching for the first time, and I will give you the clown pick. I will give you what I picked, and I don't do any research. However, Joe and Bill are really good. Bill's not here, so Joe's really good, and he's going to give you the actual picks. But stay along till the end, because at the end, he gives you his parlays and his DraftKings sleeper. And again, don't bet all your money on the parlays. Bet the locks. All right, individual bets, and then bet the parlays with a little bit less money because they pay out more. So just pay attention. Make sure you take copious notes. All right. A lightweight fight is the first one. And we got Dawson at 18-1-1 versus Mark Madsen at 12-0. Now, when I was doing some research into this, I called a friend. All right. And I was like, hey, this guy looked kind of like a creeper. And I'm talking about
phone a friend.
Yeah, no, I went.
Please tell me you're talking about Madsen.
I am.
He does look like a freaking creep. I thought that as soon as I saw him.
I went government agency. All right, I went to a government agency and I said, "Hey, we need to check into this guy, right?" And because he's a total creeper. So actually, I have a little bit of side intel. Bet money on the side on a prop bet for a disqualification because the fight's going to get canceled and Dawson's going to win in the second round because the FBI is going to raid the octagon when he's in there. Joe, what say you?
Yeah, well, I got Dawson in this one. He's a -220 favorite. Madsen, a lot of the bettors out there, and people are probably thinking, wow, he's a plus 180 and he's undefeated. Well, he's also 38 years old. He got into MMA late in life. He actually, and I much respect, has a medal in the Olympics for wrestling. So legit world-class wrestler. Medal, didn't just participate, medaled in the Olympics. But the problem is I watched his last fight and he cost me some money because I got cued on a finish type and he was a massive favorite and he put me to sleep and won a split decision. The problem is a lot of these Olympic wrestlers and these Greco-Roman guys don't understand that doesn't translate into MMA just because. You know, you've got to be able to go in there. They're scoring that shit on damage now. You know, control time isn't everything. And I think Dawson is just too good of a wrestler to be dominated by this guy. And this guy, if he can't dominate the wrestling, he's got a problem. Dawson's 18-1. He's on a huge winning streak. So don't let the records fool you. I think Dawson is the better of the two fighters now. He's much younger. He's a little bit bigger. He's not going to get bullied and get out wrestled in this game, in this match. So look for him to strike, look for him to wrestle back. But I got Dawson unanimous decision to get the night started.
All right, there you have it. Now to a flyweight fight, which Big Earl loves these fights, right? Because you know what? These are the guys that are the size of my right leg. Okay, you got Ulanbekov at 13-2 going against Manass at 14-2. Like I said, the Big Earl doesn't give two shits about 120 pounders. All right, you're not real fighters. All right, I said it right now. I am 100% permanent total disabled. I will beat up both of you. All right, so like just come into my octagon, man ass. All right, let's get some. So I'm going man ass by decision because no one gives.
Isn't there like a movie in the back shelf at the old Family Video? Yeah. Family Video, the only national chain that always had porn.
Yeah, we're all the 12-year-old boys running away from
I believe there was a movie there that was called "Come to My Octagon, Man Ass." But I'm just kidding. Anyways. Yeah, Ulanbekov, he made Bill look silly and made me look real smart in his first matchup when he got upset by Tim Elliott and really bored the shit out of me. Manass, the last fight I saw him in, if the round was 5 minutes and 10 seconds, he would have got knocked out. The bell saved him, and I give him respect. He came back and knocked the guy out in the next round. But he's 125 pounds and he throws 1.9 strikes per minute. I'm sorry, bro, that's not enough. I don't trust that you can do enough damage at that size, only throwing 2 strikes every 60 seconds. So I got Ulanbekov out wrestling him, not really having a problem with his striking, closing the distance, kind of making this a sleeper, man. And I got 2 pretty serious wrestling matches for the first 2 matches of the night, and Ulanbekov winning a I'll call it split decision. Say Manass presses one judge and not the others.
Nice. So Chad Masterson says, hey, this gives me gas, right? So I have to bring this guy up because Chad, you messaged Veteran Trash Talk earlier in the week, and you're one of we get somebody like you once every 4 or 5 months that doesn't understand how Facebook works. Mm-hmm. So like he asked us, why am I getting blocked from commenting on VTT official? Right? We don't know. Okay. We talk way more shit than you. We're smarter than you. We talk way more eloquent shit than you. And we stay on. All right. And then I showed you that there are 0 restrictions from Veteran Trash Talk on you. Right. Which means that you're getting restricted by Facebook. Okay. And I'm just going to go with the fact that you don't get how that works. So I say maybe take some Pepto-Bismol for your gas and then maybe smoke a bowl. All right. For your anxiety about Facebook. That
works sometimes.
Because you know what happens when Facebook punishes me? I don't care.
If you're secure in your manhood, you could just vape it out.
Right. Just vape it out. Look at that. So now that Joe's doing that, good luck on the NFL picks later. Then Mickey,
Joe's going to be asleep for the third quarter of the show.
And Mickey Severance is on. All right. Mickey's an awesome dude. All right. So let's go to the next one.
Oh, fat buddies.
This is what I'm talking about. This is my kind of fighting, though. All
Fat
right, these are the guys that, you know, they walk into a bar, they're like 6'5", 280 pounds. And it's like, even though you could probably do a lot more cool martial arts stuff, this guy's just going to bury you, right? They're just like, it's just, these are the bouncers, right? These are the bouncers in all the cool bars. So we got Sherman at 16-10 versus Parisian, all right, or Parisian at 15-5. All right. Now I'm going with the Army here. All right. I'm going with the Sherman tank spear. All right. KO first round, Sherman spear, tank spear. All right. Write it up. It's going to be the first one of its case. You'll see it. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. Joe, what say you?
Oh my goodness. Sherman is 1-0 in his last one and 1-4 in his last 5. So how's that? How is that for throwing a curveball at you?
Well, hey, the Sherman tank didn't do too well all the time, all right, but it still did its job. All right, it lost
and
a
then
couple.
Before that,
lost a couple of battles, Joe.
Look, before that, he was 4-0. This guy likes to go on 4-fight streaks. He's got literally a 4-fight winning streak, a 4-fight losing streak, and now he's got a win. So he should be on win number 2. They both suck, and we're just really doing this out of our sense of responsibility to get to the NFL. I'm still not over Dana White throwing this card at us.
This is a horrible card.
I'm gonna take Sherman, and let's go ahead and say Sherman by knockout in round 1. Fight!
I love it. All right. Okay, let's go to the co-main. All right, and we got Neil Magny. All right, at 26-10. I already like this guy. All right, Rodriguez at 17-2. And I'm gonna go with old George from Veteran Radio Syndicate. So by the way, go check out Veteran Radio Syndicate. Technically they're a competitor of ours, but not really. They're like really way smaller than us. But
I like the kid brother playing layups.
Yeah, but they're really good people. George is a really good guy. So go check out Veteran Radio Syndicate, and he always says that he's going to heel hook me, but I don't know how he's going to do that when one of his eyes is going the other direction. What heel is he going to look at? I'm not sure. So George, anytime you want to heel hook me, bring it. All right, because I'm like sure. Like I'll tap before you even get it in there. Right, like so. As soon as
you tap before he gets it in there, and he does it anyways, DQ, you win.
Right, I win. So like
yeah.
I honestly, as soon as the fight goes to the ground, I tap. Like
I would tap before he sinks it in, and then say something really bad about Ohio State in his ear.
Yeah,
he'll just freak and just be like, he'll be like Ken Shamrock in the WWF. Duh! Grab the ankle.
And that's for you, Ranger Martinez. I know you don't watch anymore, but old Marty Martinez, I tapped when we fought, but just because it went to the ground and I was done. I was like, I'm not even gonna play in this fight anymore. I just tapped. So,
it was instantly.
So,
did not get in there.
I'm a lazy guy. All right,
I was gonna say it was close. It was close to going in, and next, I don't think I can reverse this, and I don't want to know what's next.
No, don't care. All right, so I got.
I want to see the end of this movie.
Yep, I'm not gonna live it down that somebody separated my shoulder or something like that. Like nope. So.
Yeah. It's a cross to bear, my friend. Let me tell you, 20 years. 20 years. I should just get a T-shirt on VTT that just has an arrow pointing right here and just say 20 years.
Yeah.
And so have a picture of me and you on the back going.
Yeah, those of you watching for the first time, I definitely separated Joe's shoulder in a fight, and
I mean the ground did, but he was on the other side of me. So
I'm just saying, somebody puts you into the ground. That was me. All right, well, we'll talk about it anymore. I know this is a sore subject, but we got. I'm gonna go Neil, 3rd round heel hook, the George Pardos heel hook.
Yeah, you made me vape. No, God, I'm not doing it again. And if Bill's watching this, he's got to be dying laughing right now. I'm just not doing it again and going against D-Rod. He's got me 2 times in a row now, even though that UFC 279 fight, he did not win. That's when the Leech got screwed by split decision. He definitely won that fight. But I'm going to take D-Rod, and I just don't think I think Magny's He's too fight old, even though D-Rod's older than he is. But God, Maggie's been around for so long. He's been knocked out 3 times. He's been subbed 8 times. And I don't think he's going to want to brawl with D-Rod. So I could be wrong about this one, but D-Rod's my DraftKings sleeper. And I say he wins by knockout in round 2.
All right. So, hey, I never pay for those Jake Paul fights. And you were talking about that last week, saying that if this goes to distance, then it's definitely fixed. And so we have somebody on here. We got Ken McGregor says, let's have Jake Paul fight in the UFC.
I wish he would.
How did that fight go with Silva? Was that a real fight?
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't think so.
Well, you don't think so?
Silva down in the final round. He won a decision. Silva looked like, you ever been to like Myrtle Beach or a place that keeps animals enclosed that they shouldn't? And you see the animals and you're like, son of a bitch, what do you have that tiger on?
Right.
That's what Silva looked like. He looked like he was on some kind of dope. And he was just too lethargic. And honestly, to me, what it feels like with these Jake Paul fights is he's taking care of these guys. And they're behind closed doors agreeing, like, hey man, you're not gonna swing to knock my head off, right? Like, I'm taking care of you. You know, I'm gonna hit you hard, but you know, we both want to walk away from this thing and kind of dumbing them down, man. I just don't see any way Tito Ortiz takes one punch in boxing gloves from Anderson Silva. And this is a guy with a good chin historically. He falls like he got shot by a sniper rifle and hits the ropes and then bounces off and hits the canvas stiff. One punch from Anderson Silva. Yet Jake Paul takes 6 rounds or 8 rounds of it clean. I don't see how that's possible. And you know, Anthony Smith, who's a dog, who's one of me and Bill's favorites, said, you know, a lot of these UFC guys are getting sick of Jake Paul's shit because he talks shit about the UFC. And then he wants to drag their fucking 50-year-old veterans who are legends to these guys. You know, and a lot of them take it personally, him and they're beating up on 47-year-old Anderson Silva. It's like, all right, dude, you proved it. You can beat a guy who's half 100. Now let's try somebody in their 30s who's an actual fucking legit boxer. And then I'll buy that one. I believe he's for real enough, but not as good as he's looked.
All right. So obviously this doesn't go well for our producer, who's a Marine, Muffin Fingers back there at the Baker. But Chad, who got really triggered over not knowing how Facebook works, he's a Marine. I could have guessed that. But you know,
he's a Marine.
Hoorah. Your birthday's coming up, so we'll be nice to you. Anyways, Gruntworks and Veteran Trash Talk has a great Marine line. So go on there. And I met a Marine the other day who was an 03. Chad, were you at least an 03? Were you an infantry guy? Like, because other than that, like, thanks for your service. Like, thanks for doing intel with the Baker. I don't know, or communications, whatever. Nobody knows what they do. We all love Pogues, but
I said I wanted 4 logs of Copenhagen on the next log pack. You idiot! I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think of Pogues. I think of Ledunsky throwing the guy who ran the little store at Brassfield Moore up against the wall because he didn't order enough Copenhagen. True story, bro.
I know.
So, up armored Humvee, the Ledunsky.
Yep, there you go. But hey, so all right, so at least you were a grunt. Allegedly, we don't really know because a grunt shouldn't get triggered over Facebook like you do. But that's okay. All right, let's go to the hey, put in the code. Hey, Chris, go to shop.veterantrashtalk.com. Just search up Marine, and then a lot of shirts will come up. All right, put in the code Rudy, all caps, RUDY. All right, that's the Marine that I met, and the code is named after him. He's a good dude. He did 8 years in the Corps. About 4 deployments. And again, he was in Fallujah a few times where the 82nd had to bail you guys out. All right. So when you need,
and then Notre Dame made a movie about him.
Right. Exactly. So, all right.
Almost true.
Let's go to the main event, which is everything everybody wants to see, which is a women's strawweight fight. Now I'm going to go back to about a year ago to where I refused to watch women's UFC. right? And yes, you can call me sexist, but it has nothing to do with sexism. I just don't like seeing women get beat up, right? Like I just don't like it. All right. However, since I started watching UFC more, there was some good fighters I was watching with some of these women where it was, like, hey, these good fighters. But at 115 pounds, what am I watching? All right. It's like, I don't even want to watch. And to be fair, so this is why I'm not sexist. I don't want to watch 125-pound guys fight either. Like that doesn't excite me. Like you're a kid. Okay. So whatever. I got Rodriguez at 16-1-2 in this women's strawweight fight versus Lemos at 12-2-1. You know what? I'm not picking this fight, Joe. I'm just going to go to bed. All right. I'm just going to go to bed when this fight starts.
That's all right. I got you. Yeah, I'm going to take Marina. And, I think I'm going to take her by decision just because I don't think she's going to TKO Lemos. She possibly could. Lemos's only chance is to get inside and rough Rodriguez up. I think Rodriguez is just on too much of a tear. She should be fighting for a title right now. And I think her length and her boxing is going to be too much for Lemos. And it's going to be a pretty unanimous decision. And that's it, man.
All right. So let's wrap up the UFC and give us your locks and your parlay for Saturday.
All right,
your DraftKings sleeper was
my sleeper is D-Rod.
Oh, D-Rod.
Daniel Rodriguez against Neil Magny.
Yeah.
So here we go. My locks, starting with the prelims, are Miranda Maverick over Shayna Young. Most definitely, I'm very, very confident in that pick. And then Mario Bautista over Benito Lopez is the fight right beneath them. So take Bautista and Maverick. Shouldn't be hard. And then I really like Hadley over Candelario. It's the second fight of the night. So these are all lightweight fights, man. These are all small guys, 125, 135. And then the female fight. So I'm taking them all money line and they're heavy favorites, but that's not where my parlay stops. So continuing on, I'm taking Dawson in the parlay. I'm taking actually Dawson and Madsen to go the distance. I apologize. I see that fight.
But I told you already it's not going past the second round because the FBI is going to arrest him. So
yeah, I see it being a wrestling match. And then I'm going Ulanbekov and Manas to go the distance or over 2.5. So that's 2 fights in a row. Dawson and Madsen and Ulanbekov and Manas, both over 2.5 rounds. And then Marina Rodriguez, and that's it. So a 6-leg parlay.
Oh, nice 6-fighter. So that's three prelim card fights.
And the first 2 fights on the main.
First 2 fights to go to distance. So over 2.5 if you're on a betting site. And then unless you have
Marina Rodriguez money line to win in the main event.
All right. Very nice. Very nice. And then did you already say your locks? You said the first 3 were locks, right? The first 3.
My fault. Yep. My locks are, that was it. My locks are Maverick,
Bautista
and Hadley.
Okay, Maverick, Bautista, and Hadley. There you have it, fight fans. Hey, take a minute break here. Go refill your drink, and we'll come back with the Big Earl NFL locks. What's up, sports fans? Are you looking for a job? Do you want to change in careers? Do you want to own your own business? I got the answer for you. This show is brought to you by FleetTex. FleetTex is partnering with veterans with mechanical or electronic experience. FleetTex specializes in on-site deployment of GPS tracking equipment and cameras for fleet vehicles across our nation. Check out what they do at www.fleettex.com. Apply today. Currently targeting veterans living in Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee. Local work and travel opportunities may be available in other areas. FleetTex proudly supports our military, its service members, our veterans, and all right, and we are back. I hope you guys got yourself a refill. Don't know what exactly you're drinking, so you might have taken a little bit more than a minute, but you can always rewind. That's great. But now we get to the meat and potatoes of the show when it comes to the Big Earl, and it's the NFL locks. And again, I had a rough start to this season. I mean, it's bad. I follow a site that people pick against the spread, and there's one guy who's plus 56 right now. Plus 56 against the spread. All right. And that's astronomical 8 weeks in.
Yeah, that's insanity.
Right now, but he had a horrible week last week, which tells me one thing, that this guy's a wild card. So he was probably picking things that nobody else was picking and was nailing these things. And finally, last week, games went the way they were pretty much supposed to go.
Right.
And I went off. I went 4 for 6 on my locks. I gave you 6 locks last week. All right. And I went 4 for 6. And my underdogs, I went 1 and 2. So if you bet one of those, you made enough money to cover both of them. Stupid Jets. Oh my gosh.
Oh, the freaking Colts, man.
Well, the Colts, I told you
the Colts pull a 9-leg parlay for me.
But I told you to stay away from that game.
You said if Jonathan Taylor starts, you like the Colts. Yeah. I got greedy and threw him in there. When they went up 16-9 with 4 minutes to go, I thought, all right, we're home. Or 16-7, not 9. I thought, all right, we're home.
Yeah, 2 scores.
Skins have only scored once all day, and they've been playing 1-2-3 kick all night. And sure enough, Skins come down 4 minutes and score more points than they scored in the entire game. Went on the last second, and I lost. 9-leg parlay went 8 for 9.
Yeah,
that's pretty good picking by you because I was off your pick. So
yeah, so I went. I split up my parlays. I went a bunch of 2-teamers. So I wanted to be a little safer. So I went a bunch of 2-teamers, and I hit 3 of the 4 2-teamers, and then I hit my big one with the Philadelphia Phillies winning Game 3, which I on accident picked.
Oh my god! And this series is crazy too, man.
I picked the Phillies on accident, thinking I was picking Philly, the football, the Eagles.
I had a parlay where I had Philly getting 1.5 with Houston and under 8.5 last night going. And
well, I told you I was right on that one. I was like, I like the under, I like Houston, so that hit perfect. So that was awesome.
Beautiful.
All right, let's get into the NFL.
Oh man, we got Buffalo at 1:00 rolling in to play the Jets. I think it's a better game than they think because the Jets are 11.5-point dogs at home with a 46 over under.
Yeah, so there's 3 ways to bet this one. I like the Jets to cover here. I like the Bills money line, obviously, but the under. I like the under in that game. All right. I honestly think if the game goes the way it's supposed to go, the Bills are going to win like 31-3.
I was thinking 28-10.
Yeah, something like that. So I like the under in that game. I want to make the under on that game a lock, but I'm not going to. So
all right, we got Carolina going into Cincinnati. Cincinnati is given 7 with a 42.5 over under.
Oh, did the Bengals cost me on Halloween? Them sons of bitches.
Right, they choked.
Got blown out.
Cost all of us.
Yeah, so you got Jamar Chase. He's out, right? And I don't care what anybody says, but when you have a player he's almost like the next coming of Julio Jones. Like, he's just that dynamic. And you could tell that they literally lost him, but hopefully the Bengals get back after the run game here. But the Panthers, I tell you what, they're playing strong. They're playing like a team. So I actually like the over in this game. I think there's going to be more points than 42.5, but I'll obviously take the Bengals money line.
Yeah, there you go. All right, here we go. I hate you for 3 hours on Sunday. Green Bay comes into Detroit. Detroit's 3.5-point dogs at home with a 49.5 over under.
All right, here's the beauty of this. The Packers have lost 4 games in a row. The last time I was able to say that, I think it was 2008.
As a Lions fan, I don't know when the last time the Packers lost 4 that I can remember.
2008. However,
half the state is Packers fans.
Yeah,
up north.
And again, I am a Packer fan, but Joe will tell you I don't bet based off of my fanhood. But the Packers, with being able, big flex there. the Packers being able to run the ball as well as they do, and the Lions having the worst run defense in the NFL. I don't see the Lions even coming close in this game. So I got the Packers as a lock here at 3.5. And I think that's a glorious 3.5 because the Packers have lost 4 in a row. That's why I brought that up.
Yeah, I thought that line was extremely close. And if you're a Lions fan, if you really want to bet with your wallet, you know how Aaron Rodgers has played against you. He's not going to come into Detroit and drop one. It's almost like dropping one in Chicago. He just doesn't do it. But all right, we got Indy going into New England. New England is 6-point favorites with a 40.5 over under.
Yeah, I like New England here, -6. I think I like the spread too. I'm not going to lock it, but I wouldn't hate you if you did.
All right, we got the Chargers going into Atlanta. Atlanta is 3-point home dogs with a 49.5 over under.
All right, here's my first upset, the Falcons. All right, the Falcons are going to win this game outright. Now, the Falcons I don't know. Joe, help me on this one. I don't get how they try to lose every single football game going back to the Super Bowl against the Patriots, to where you have a guy from Carolina throw the ball 70 yards in the air. And somehow somebody gets behind you with 3 seconds, like with 45 seconds left. What? And then the dude takes his helmet off and celebrates, and then they miss the extra point. But that actually made me money because I bet on it. I bet on Atlanta to win that game. But I just think eventually Atlanta's got to stop trying to lose games.
Yeah. I mean, they've got talent to stay in games. It's like watching some of those old Lions teams that would.
Right.
I mean, this team sucks, but some of those teams that would go 7-9 and 8 of their 9 losses were by less than a field goal, or maybe not that tight, but by a field goal less than a touchdown. And it just teams like that. They don't know how to close the show, and God, the Lions have been like that for a long time. This year they suck, and I really do believe that Sunday's just going to be another atrocity.
Yeah, and then you got Ken McGregor saying my Broncos are going to get a win this week because they have a bye.
Fantastic, no losses, right?
Yeah, they caught. Yep.
Going into Jacksonville. Jacksonville's 2-point home dogs, 48 over under.
Again, I'm gonna call. I'm gonna have a weird week this week. I got another upset here.
Yeah,
I like Jacksonville to win outright in this game. The Raiders are just completely. I think they're defeated. And Jacksonville's defense is a lot better than people think. If they just don't turn the ball over, then I think they win. I think they win a sloppy game.
Yeah. All right. We got Miami going into Chicago. Chicago's 4.5-point home dogs, 45.5 over under.
Okay. The Dolphins are absolutely going to roll Chicago. Like absolutely roll them. Right. Chicago they just lost Roquan Smith. Right. They traded him away. There's nobody that's going to stop. There's nobody that's going to stop the Dolphins on Chicago. Not a chance. Lock it up. Dolphins win by 2 scores.
All right, we got Minnesota going into Washington. Washington's 3-point home dogs with a 43.5 over under.
Which again, here is Vegas getting scared because you got Washington winning 3 games in a row, right? And they didn't beat anybody that was good. And Minnesota is a good football team. Now, Minnesota's another one of those teams that just keeps people around, right? I don't get it, but I gotta lock this. I gotta lock Minnesota -3. Gotta lock them.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. That line's closer than I would think. Washington's
best defensive player. I don't know if Chase Young's coming back, but their leading tackler, linebacker, is out this week. I don't know how they're going to stop Minnesota. So,
all right, we got Seattle going to Arizona. Arizona's 2-point favorites with a 49 over under.
All right, watch the injury line on this. Okay, if Metcalf and Lockett play, it's an upset. It's the easiest upset of the year.
Yeah, it's weird, man. I like Seattle.
Yeah. I mean, again, if they don't have BK playing, then that's tough.
I've been right here with you on most of this, man. I was thinking he's going to pick that upset, and I thought both on Jacksonville too. So I agree. This should be interesting. We got a couple of Super Bowl rematch teams. We got the Rams playing Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's 3-point favorite with a 42.5 over under.
I'm going 4 upsets this week.
And I don't like it either. Like, I like the Rams.
I try to tell people, like, because I know there's a people think that there's a hatred for Tom Brady. I love Tom Brady.
I'll be there when they induct him. It's on my dad's bucket list. I
don't hate Tom Brady. I've always said that Tom Brady just is not a top 5 skilled quarterback. That's all I've ever said. Right? It has nothing to do with being able to manage a game, being able to call plays, being able to read defenses, being able to be accurate with the football, right? Like, I think he's a tool quarterback out of 5, right? You know, so if you got speed, accuracy, throwing strength, pocket presence, and then creative, you know, being able to create, right? He has 2 of those, all right? And he's awesome at it. But there's quarterbacks in the league right now that have 4 or 5 of those, right?
I don't think there's another quarterback with less athleticism that could do what he did other than Peyton Manning.
Sure. And Peyton Manning was in the same.
Probably the only 2. Aaron Rodgers is more athletic and Brett Favre was more athletic than both of those guys.
Well, I mean, like, Brett Favre could have played safety, you know, like it was whatever. So I don't think the Buccaneers are going to keep Tom Brady standing up again.
Yeah, and that's a real problem, man. He looked 45 when he's getting pressured.
He looked like that when he was 20, but it's like
no, he looks like a 45-year-old version of himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not, you know what I mean? Like, he's slowing down, brother.
Right. And then Ken asked us, who do you think won with the trade deadline over? Baltimore did. Baltimore did big time. So they don't have the defense that they typically have as a Baltimore defense, but they got Roquan Smith now. Like, that dude's a beast. That dude's an absolute monster. So
it's crazy to even think of Baltimore with a soft defense. I mean, people don't really understand how great Ray Lewis and Ed Reed were. And I'll tell you right now,
Ed Suggs,
I find Ed Reed
and Saragusa
was a better positional player than Ray Lewis. Like, if you rank them all time, I think Ed Reed's number 1 overall.
Yeah,
I think he's the greatest safety that's ever played football.
I know, Joe, you watched the Mannings on Monday night, right?
I have seen it. Yeah,
you need to watch it. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to football. So when the Mannings get on there, they interview people and they talk to people. It's during the game. It's just great. And they were talking about what did he say? He goes, "This is like going onto the field against Baltimore and not knowing where Ed Reed is. That's how scared I am." It's like if you don't know where Ed Reed is, you're in trouble.
Did you ever see have you ever seen the video when he's mic'd up and that guy roughs him up on the punt return?
No.
Oh, look it up. Because he gets face masked and he's all the way back in the end zone and he takes off running and he's mic'd up the whole time. And all you can hear is him going, and all of a sudden you just see the ball carrier. And then you realize how fast he's moving when you see other people and he smokes them.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Fuck boy," like that, and like stands over him. And Ray Lewis is screaming and the dude's just laying there. I'm like, dude, that was like the last of the Ronnie Lots, man.
Yep.
You get penalized for any kind of hit like that anymore. But man, he smoked him and it was crazy. The guy hit the ground like he was stapled to it. All right, we got the Titans and the Chiefs.
Dude,
KC is 12.5-point favorites.
Lock this game up. The Chiefs.
12.5.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Titans. 46 over under.
Yeah, Tannehill's not playing. Right? They got some quarterback that hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. Cool. All right, but the Chiefs are just going to score touchdowns on every drive here. So I think it's a lock. Chiefs are going to win big time.
And you can make it the last parlay of the day, too. So if you're still alive, you can pick your payout if you're not comfortable at the end.
Right. Right.
Your parlay is still alive at Sunday Night Football. You did well. All right, Monday night we got the Ravens going to New Orleans. New Orleans is 2.5-point home dogs with a 47.5 over under.
Yeah, this is a weird line here.
Interesting.
Again, the Saints have been playing very, very good. They've just been losing, but they've been playing very well. Michael Thomas is out again. I think he's out for the rest of the season. I don't know if Kamara is going to play, so watch the injury report on this. I like the Ravens here. And I like this as a lock. So I'm going to go with my locks as the Dolphins, the Packers, the under in the Bills-Jets game. I'm going to say that. And then the Vikings, and then the Ravens. My upset parlay is the Seahawks, the Rams, the Jaguars, and the Falcons. So that's a 4-team. If you do that 4-teamer money line parlay for those upsets for $5, it's probably going to pay you 70. So give that a shot. Go back over to Lions pick.
The Lions pick. Packers.
The Packers. Lock it up. All right.
Cover.
So yeah, they cover. The Packers will win by 2 scores. It might be an ugly game. The under actually looks pretty good. They're 50s a lot because the Packers score like 20.
The Packers have gotten tuned up 4 weeks in a row. They just played possibly the best team in the NFL and hung
during
with
prime
them,
time and played very well.
hung with them on the road. And Aaron Rodgers has a blood oath about losing to Detroit. He'll throw a ball 80 yards with no time on the clock. He'll win a game at the last second that he wasn't winning in at all until that last second.
No,
Twice
actually,
in one fucking season.
yeah, same season. The
He
Packers
doesn't lose to Detroit, man. So I definitely say Packers. I'm gonna go 34, 24, 34.
That's gotta be one of the greatest stats in the history of the NFL. In the history, to where you
Packers
beat
won 2 games.
Two
They
games.
only led by 2 seconds.
No, they never led during any second of the game.
Well, I mean, if you count the last second.
No, they weren't leading. They
Yeah.
kicked it with 0 time left.
Touche.
They never led for 1 second of either of those games.
Who did they play?
The Lions.
I'll
The
tell you.
goddamn. You could. What did your dad say?
My grandfather. Rest
The grandfather,
his soul.
yeah.
God, that was so. My friend, he was so excited about the jerseys, and my grandpa was like, always so respected by everybody. He goes, Mr. Britson, what do you think about the Lions and those new jerseys? They look great, don't they? And he goes, you can dress some sons of bitches up any way you want. They're still the goddamn Detroit Lions.
That's so great. That's so awesome. But all right, Trash Truckers and Gruntworks Nation, we will see you tomorrow with the Trash Talk Hour. Now, we're going to have a little bit different of a show. All right. Now, every once in a while, we throw some first responders on there that aren't veterans. But so we're going to do a first responder nonprofit out of Chicago. And God knows those cops need all the help that we can give them. Like, oh my gosh, dude, what a horrible city. And those cops are on the front line the entire time, so like, I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys on here that talk a lot of shit about being a veteran that ain't seen half the shit Chicago cops seen. All right. So
Absolutely.
And then we have Bookham Bridges coming on. He's going to come on and,
oh yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna come on and give his little thing about how what cops are supposed to do in those kind of cities, and I think he has a really good take. So check us out 1700 Eastern time. And again, you saw our sponsor. If you need a job, go to fleettex.com and go apply. Just apply. See what can happen. Other than that, good luck betting. All right, because I'm betting on everything I just said, and I'm gonna bet on everything Joe just said. So when we lose and you lose, we all lose, right? But if you bet me NFL last week, you won. And if you bet UFC most of the time with these guys, like 89 to 90,
and the locks don't miss, brother.
Yeah, you're gonna win. So good betting. And if you can't bet, don't bet. All right, see you guys tomorrow. What's up, sports fans? Are you looking for a job? Do you want to change in careers? Do you want to own your own business? I got the answer for you. This show is brought to you by FleetTex. FleetTex is partnering with veterans with mechanical or electronic experience. FleetTex specializes in on-site deployment of GPS tracking equipment and cameras for fleet vehicles across our nation. Check out what they do at www.fleettex.com. Apply today. Currently targeting veterans living in Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee. Local work and travel opportunities may be available in other areas. FleetTech proudly supports our military, its service members, our veterans, and their families. Enjoy the show.